Man, this episode was full of it. The title said it best. Hot blood, hot thoughts, and hot deeds. Let's talk about Empire, y'all. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to KRS TV. This is your boy Kenny, and this is Empire Season 5, Episode 13. And the name of this episode is Hot Blood, Hot Thoughts, Hot Deeds. This was a really good episode, and I'm so sorry that this review is late. For those who've been following me on social media, you know I've been, promoting this successful event called Power 30, which made history here in the DMV. And also I've been, dealing with the loss of my grandfather, Mr. Robert Webster. But I'm back in everything, y'all, and I definitely thank all of you for your love and support on everyone who's social media who has sent their condolences to me and my family. Alright, so let's begin with this episode. Now, the episode opens up. You got Cookie, Tiana, and Treasure. They're meeting with Angie, who has her show Angie on the Mic, and they're talking about, the Trust Tour. Because you remember on the last episode, they talked about doing this tour to win back their fan base, because due to the data mining scandal, they lost a lot of fans, and no fans are streaming or doing nothing in regards to Empire. So they came up with this idea to create a free concert to win back their fans and to build up their base again. So while they're in the interview, they are really, giving good face. They're talking about how, is there dissension within the company and is everybody on board. Then they do a flashback when Giselle, Kelly Patel, and Cookie and Lucius are going back and forth, about this tour. And then Angie turns her attention to Tiana and Treasure, because we all know about their big blowout that happened on the red carpet at the Fashion Week. So they ask, is there still all this tension and beef? And she's like, oh no, everything is good. We're sisters. Lies. Because then they start doing a flashback of how they got everybody to agree on the tour. They went to Tiana and they asked Tiana, do you, would it be okay if on your set you feature Treasure? And she's like, who? Shade. And then they show Treasure. Treasure was like, okay, but I don't want to feature. I want my own set. Cookie was like, boo boo, you have not even been here long enough to even wipe your nose. You talking about you want your own set? But Lucius says, yes, we'll give you that. And Cookie's like, what the hell you mean? And he's like, look, her single with Tiana is hot, and we ain't gonna turn no money down. She could, Gus give her a shot. So then we also see they talk to Blake. Blake is hesitant to be on this tour because of this whole situation between Hakeem and Tiana. He's not trying to, cause any drama. But then Giselle, being the shady ass that she is, tells him, well, there's going to be parts of the tour where Hakeem's going to be doing a whole bunch of promotions, and that'll leave you room to stake your claim. And Blake signs it. And then we see Carlito. Remember, Carlito is the artist that Lucius won during that poker game along with Damon Cross. So Carlito is like, shoot, I'm about to show him what's up. Because Carlito is just as cocky and is just as, a big, show off like Hakeem. So Carlito's trying to give Hakeem a run for his money, and they sign him. And then we see that, after Angie starts discussing, the whole data mining scandal, which was caused by Kingsley's old mean ass, that's when Cookie looks at the camera. She says that, look, this tour is free, but it's free because we need you. We want you back. And I thought that, man, that damn Cookie knows how to do good PR, and she's pretty much one of the major she is the mastermind of Empire. Let's just say it out. And I'm gonna get to why I'm saying this, so let's keep it moving. Then we get a scene with Terry and Andre. We come to find out that Terry's actually a nurse, and she takes him to a specialist who pretty much says that, you know, this could be treated with chemotherapy, but we got to act aggressively. And pretty much the kind of chemo, you know, the treatment that he's going to receive, they have a nickname for it called the Angel and the Devil. That his cancer can go in reverse within 3 weeks. But then the side effects is that it can be tumors and blood vessels. You know, it's a catch-22. You can you're either gonna, you know, survive or you're gonna die. And it's pretty much a catch and go. So then we see Lucius, you know, has a discussion with Thirsty. But before that, we see that Becky is home sick with the flu. She want to be on tour. And Lucius is like, girl, I'm not bringing your ass on this damn tour so you can get everybody sick. Stay your ass at home and get better. We'll see you when we get back. Because the first stop on the tour is Philly, as they mentioned in the last episode, because that's their home turf. So then Thirsty, you know, has a conversation with him, and he's pretty much saying that, look, the FBI, you know, has been bringing me in for questioning, and, you know, they want Damon Cross on a silver platter, and they'll go to you, they'll try to take you down in order to get to him. So, you know, so he's pretty much letting them know that, yeah, the FBI is watching not only Damon, but they also are watching you and Empire. So Lucius has a meeting with Cookie and Giselle. He discusses this whole thing with the FBI and saying that, look, we need to eradicate Damon Cross altogether. You know, the whole trip to Panama, the money transfer, all of that. We need to clean up everything, you know, that's attached to Damon. And then Giselle brings up, well, what about the transfer that we sent to him for him getting us the money back? She says that, look, we can put that in the face of a charity contribution, saying that we're donating to a charity of his choice or whatever. Cookie immediately gets pissed off because she knows he's talking about the new charity that that they started, you know, to help people who were strung out and people who are going through hard times. So she's like, oh, you mean to tell me the damn charity that we're supposed to be using to make things right, you want to use this as like a shield to protect your money from the feds? Are you serious? And it gets really explosive. But then he's pretty much like, look, I know, but this what has to happen. We gotta erase Damon Cross for once and for all. And then all of a sudden Damon just walks into the main office at Empire. Was like, oh, is that right? So this is why I'm getting calls, you know, from somebody in Panama who's supposedly messing in my business. I'm like, oh, this shit is crazy. So what we have here is Clash of the Titans. You got Damon and you got Lucius, and they both want power and they want control. And what I was saying about Cookie being the mastermind of Empire, that's the real reason why Damon wants her. He's attracted to her, obviously, but he wants her because think about the game of chess. Yeah, you got the king who runs the kingdom, but the best piece on the board is the queen. She has multiple moves and she can take out anybody that comes for the kingdom. Damon Cross is playing chess, and he realizes that he needs a queen in order to take over Empire, because that's his main goal. Because we saw in the last episode, you know, when Eddie had took over Empire and he was looking down at Cookie and Lucius, and his date was like, so what are you looking at? And he said, my future. He was plotting right then and there, I need to take the queen so I can take down the king. That's his strategy right there. So if anything, he starts reprimanding Lucius, saying that, look, your whole thing trying to go, you know, this whole thing that you're doing, you know, trying to go through my stuff, man, you sloppy. Like, starts cutting down Lucius. And of course, Giselle is like, well, why are they looking at you in the first place? He says that, hey, the AUSA are obsessed with me, so it is what it is. But then he says, but instead of you know, coming to me, you decided to do this little sloppy operation. I should have been your first call. So then he tells Cookie, like, Cookie, we need to backtrack everything at Panama. And Cookie told Damon, I'm not going back to Panama with you. He's like, no, boo-boo, it's not a request. I can do it on a phone call, but you'll be hearing from me within a day or so. So pretty much Lucius tells him, you got 24 hours. And he was like, yeah, and you welcome. And like, but before he had walked off, like when he had said that, you know, within a day you'd be hearing from me, so hold tight. And Lucius like, you don't come up in my damn office making no demands and leave. I'm like, Lucius is ready to go against Damon, but he doesn't realize that Damon Cross is another kind of monster. And soon in time enough, he's gonna find that out. And then all of a sudden, pretty much after Damon leaves, he says that, look, we have to be very careful because every move is being watched, especially on this tour. And Cookie tells him, like, Lucius, you need to kill her with all these damn secrets. Because we're seeing this is what she's kind of rebelling against when it comes to Lucius. Because certain things just come out of her, just come at her out of nowhere when it comes down to Lucius. I mean, the whole reveal of Kingsley being his son, him using the charity as a scapegoat to kind of like hide the wire transfer they made, that they made to Damon, because that's how Damon runs his operation. He uses, you know, charitable organizations to liquidate and to, you know, launder money. So that's what he does. So we see that going on. Then we get a scene with Portia and Cookie. Portia lets her know about this blogger, and she has 10 million followers, and her name is Hey Beautiful. And she is ripping the tour, Empire, the artists. She's ripping them to shreds, talking cash shit. Cookie was like, they need to change your name from Hey Beautiful to Hey Bitch. I was like, yes. Like, so Cookie ain't having it. But then we also get a scene where they're now about to go on tour. You know, Porsche is the HBIC of the tour. She's there to make sure that everybody does what they're supposed to do and that they get to the location. And then we also see that while Cookie's watching it, Tiana's watching it while they're about to board on the tour bus. We see that this damn Carlotto is pretty much a cocky dude with a hot dick, because he's trying to get at Tiana. Tiana turns him down, but then he tries to get at Treasure. So Carlito is a lot like Hakeem. He got this, he's full of himself, he's talented, and he loves the ladies. So there we go. And then we see that Jamal comes in with Winter, who's his artist, who's played by Joss Stone. Love her down. You know, British soul all day. And he's also there with Maya, who, and remember, on the last episode, Jamal hired Maya to be the choreographer of the tour. So, you know, Winter's kind of going in on Jamal because Jamal is trolling Kai on social media. You know, he still is dealing with the loss of Kai, you know, because they were about to get married and they really had this strong connection, but Kai just couldn't get with the Lion family. So then all of a sudden, you know, Winter takes his phone and you see all, like, he's just literally just trolling Kai on social media, seeing what he's up to. And then Becky sends a text saying that, you know, you need to do the song Loving You Is Easy, which is about him and Kai's relationship. And he says that, look, I'm not, and also Winter's trying to tell him that, look, you need to get over Kai, and the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody else, you know, saying you need to get laid, hun. But he says that, look, I'm not here for this shit. I ain't trying to get laid, and I ain't singing about no damn love songs for Kai. Let's go. And we see that, you know, Hakeem has his own bus. You know, he's straight up pulling like a New Edition move. So that was cute. Hakeem got his own bus, and the other bus is for the other acts on the label. So of course, you know, Jamal's gonna ride with his brother. So then we also see that in this scene that there's some serious flirting going on between Tiana and Blake. You know, Carlito is making passes at Tiana as well. And then we see that Maya comes up to offer suggestions about the performance between Blake and Tiana, saying that, look, you know, you need to really salsa it up, you know, do some salsa, you know, put your leg around them, you know, sell it, you know, that duet and everything, that will make it hot, you know, the choreography, because Tiana at the end of right now don't even realize that she's the head choreographer for the tour. So Tiana immediately blows her off like, boo boo, if you're Jamal's assistant, why the hell are you talking to me? Because you know Tiana can be a bitch. You know, she's pretty much the princess of Empire, and she has no problem letting people know it. So she kind of walked off, and then Blake was kind of like, it was a good idea, but he's like, hey, you made your play, and she shut it down. So then we see that Cookie is still on her laptop. She's still watching Hey Beautiful rip apart Empire and the tour. And then she gets, you know, I think Damon Cross sends her, you know, the footage from Panama. So he pretty much, you know, rigged all the security cameras of them being at Panama. And they showing the scene where the two of them were dancing with each other. And then all of a sudden Giselle walks in, was like, oh, what's that? Juicy. I'm like, see, that damn Giselle, you gotta watch her ass. But then Giselle comes up with a plan too, saying that, look, you know, it's all good that he scrubbed out Panama, but what about here? This fool just walked into our offices, and since the feds are watching, they know he has a connection to us. So this is what we do. We invite him to the tour, you know, and make it seem as if, like, you know, his clients are investing in the tour, you know, so therefore, you know, when they kind of screen the footage and the call logs, and Cookie was like, that means Empire's covered. So they got that taken off, but then she says that, yeah, and Giselle was like, yes, and I'll personally escort him, you know, I'll take one for the team, maybe two. And damn Cookie was like, ho. I was like, cause you know that damn girl got a hot box, because earlier when after Damon left, she was like, that's a man right there. Ooh, that's a man. And Lucia was like, you already got one dead husband, you trying to have another one? I was like, damn, straight up. So then we get a scene on the tour bus. We see that Carlito is making a play for Tiana and Treasure. They both reject his ass. Then we see Maya and Blake having a conversation, and Blake lets her know that I agree with your idea. But Maya also clocks that Blake and Tiana got chemistry. It's like, oh yeah, I see that you like her, and I see that she likes you too. But we already know if that goes down, it's gonna be some shit when Hakeem finds out. But let's just say it's gonna go down either way, because I'm gonna get to that later of how things actually play out towards the end of the episode. So then we get a scene. Cookie is still looking at the Panama footage, and she falls asleep, and she goes into like this little love dream where because you know, her and Damon met on the elevator. Little does she know, Damon already been following them prior to that moment. But she thinks about the first time they met, and she starts getting it in with him on the elevator. So there is a part of her that's turned on by Damon, and she was just giving it. She was just all into it. And then all of a sudden you hear Cookie, Cookie, Cookie. And then all of a sudden she comes to, it's Lucius. And he's like, girl, wake up. You know, what's up with this damn Damon Cross? And she's like, huh? He's like, yeah, Giselle's taking him up to Philly. You know, and she says that, look, we got to get there, and the limo's waiting. You can sleep in the car. But, yeah, we got to get there because probably Damon's old smug ass is probably under one of the bleachers or some shit. But then he was like, but Cookie, are you still mad at me? You know, about the whole charity thing? It's a one-time thing. And she's like, well, that's just it, Lucius. It's always a one-time or a first time. So she's getting over how the way Lucius moves. But Lucius has been moving this way his whole entire life. But we're starting to see the dissension is, you know, that's going on between him and Cookie. Is that Cookie is somewhat starting to outgrow Lucius's old ways of doing business. So we see that, you know, the Philly tour is kicked off. You know, you got the red carpet. The fans are out there. You know, while they're on the red carpet, we see that damn Carlito, you know, connects with one of these, you know, groupies. He signs her breast and takes one of her lollipops. So I'm like, oh yeah, Carlito about to smash her. Because Carlito's a lot like Hakeem, you know, he cocky and he got a hot dick, as I mentioned before. So then we see, you know, Hakeem is on the red carpet and he pulls in Maya and say, like, you know, welcome to the big leagues, girl. So we see that, you know, Hakeem has some type of affection for Maya, which is going to be interesting as how things play out. And then we see that Jamal and Winter are on the red carpet, and while they're there, they see this cute guy named Tyler, and Tyler obviously is trying to get close to Jamal, but Jamal was like, nice meeting you, and blew it off, and she's like, what? Really? So then we see that backstage, Cookie and Lucius come in, you know, and we come to find out that this performance is the dress rehearsal. But the VIPs are there, the money people are there, and the influencers are there. You know, people who are going to be treading and talking about it through their social media platforms. Like what I'm doing right now. But he's saying that, you know, make this performance like it's the best performance ever. And then next thing you know, while he's having this conversation, out of the woodwork comes Joe's old trifling ass. Y'all remember Joe. Joe is Treasure's former manager, who pretty much was running things like a pimp and hoe situation. He was pimping, she was the hoe, and he was kind of running the show. That's until Lucius got him to go away. Because I think Lucius kind of, you know, roughed him up or whatever. But now he coming back, extorting and shit. He done lawyered up and said that, yeah, you know, she has a big hit now with Tiana. I deserve a cut out of that. And if I don't get it, the next performance that Treasure will be doing will be in a courtroom. And so pretty much, you know, Lucius says he'll handle it. They go off and everything. And pretty much Lucius tells him, like, I'll give you $20,000 and to sign a document saying that you will never see me again. And he was like, and then Joe was like, I want $30,000 and I want it by tomorrow morning. He's like, done. So we saw that go on. So therefore we see that Terry and Andre come back after he had chemotherapy. You know, he gets a call. Andre gets a call from Lucius to meet up with Treasure's manager and they give him $30,000. But he's like, I gotta handle this. And Terry's like, you can't do anything after all of this. Like, you need to tell your family about this. He's like, no, I'm not trying to do this. I'm good. I'm okay. And then he's like, I'm fine. And while he's about to leave, thinking he's gonna handle some business, he falls down and starts throwing up, you know, the effects of chemotherapy. You know, I definitely seen it, you know, with when my uncle had cancer. I'm like, it's hell. You know, chemo can be hell on the body, you know, and, you know, it can really take you out. And that's exactly what happened, because the next time we saw Andre was knocked out in the bed, just drained. So, then we see, you know, Tiana and Treasure's performance. We can see that Treasure is very inexperienced when it comes down to doing big shows. Because, you know, she's still a new artist on the label, but we're beginning to see that she really ain't up to par. Because, and then on top of it, there's no sign of Carlito. Nobody knows what Carlito is. We know what Carlito is. Carlito off somewhere smashing a groupie when he's supposed to be there doing business. You know, kind of the same shit that Hakeem would do back in the day. But Hakeem has grown some, so I give Hakeem credit. Since he's become a father, a lot of that kiddie shit he used to do, he's kind of outgrown. But then again, he's still a kid at heart, so he still does a lot of bullshit. And then we're also noticing that there are issues with the lights. And then the next thing you know, they're noticing that Treasure's not really keeping up and she's, you know, messing up the choreography. They in the background like, what the hell is Treasure doing? And next thing you know, she and one of the dancers, you know, they kind of bump each other and it knocks, and the next thing you know, we see that damn Treasure falls off the stage and old girl not only lost her footing, but also lost her weave. I have to admit, that shit was unbelievable. But anyway, she comes to, and then she, you know, runs off because she feels embarrassed, and Lucius goes after her. And then we see that damn Hey Beautiful, you know, Treasure's watching it from the tour bus, and she's crying, you know, because Hey Beautiful is reading the tour and is making fun of Treasure falling. Like, she's got a replay. Her over and over again falling. So Treasure's really going through it. And then, you know, Lucius goes in to meet with Treasure. Treasure's crying, and she's like, I'm a fraud. I'm not going back out there. And he begins to connect with her when he starts talking about, like, you think I had it easy? You know, I had to deal with the pain and the hard knocks. And the true meaning of being an artist is that you're not afraid to shine even when you're under pressure. Like, a diamond is a coal that does well under pressure. And gold is useless until it's put through the fire. And I'm like, Lucius, you better fucking do them analogies, my bruh. What? I was here for it. I'm like, you better drop them gems. And then he was saying that, look, think about it this way. No pain, no fire, no pressure, no treasure. And, you know, he says that, but don't worry, you'll get another shot tomorrow. And it really took me back to when Lucius was doing the same thing with Vaz in episode 1, season 1, where she was struggling to, with the song, Is This Love? And he pretty much made her go to a really deep memory, and he got the performance that he wanted. It's the same thing he did with Treasure. Because obviously he sees that Treasure is a very talented person, but she has low self-esteem issues. Obviously, because if you had a motherfucking manager like Joe, you really don't have a lot of self-worth. And we're seeing that's why Treasure does the shit she does. She's a little girl lost. And he wanted her to see her for who she truly is. So that was a very good scene. So the next day they do the actual episode. This is when the actual tour starts. You know, Trevor's nervous. Jamal has a meeting with everyone, and he's saying that, look, everybody is waiting on us to fail. But we have to trust ourselves to deliver and be undeniable, and we can write the next chapter of Empire. So he does this great motivational moment. And then we get the performance of Tiana and Treasure. So we see also that Giselle brings Damon Cross to the performance, and you can see he looks at Cookie because we all know that's what he has his eye on. And they killed the performance. Treasure even had a moment where she looked like she's about to fall off stage, but then she says, I was like, that was cute. You used the pain and you made it beautiful. You made it work for you. And I thought that was awesome. So I'm like, you know, Lucia's words got to her, and now she has more confidence, and she was keeping up with Tiana. She wasn't missing any steps. And then we see that Blake comes out to perform with them along with that damn Carlito, because Carlito was smashing a groupie instead of doing his damn job, but he delivered this time around. And they have a phenomenal set. They do their thing. Then Jamal is the next performer, and while Jamal's on stage, the lights go out. But again, that whole thing about being under pressure and creating something unique and beautiful. He asks them to pull out their phone lights, you know, let's light this place up, and you literally see all of these phone lights throughout the audience. It looked beautiful. And, you know, he starts singing the song, Loving You Is Easy, and he's having flashbacks of Kai, and it's like a very beautiful scene. And he begins to sing, and then within the song, he breaks down and starts crying, and he can't go on. And then Winter comes in, and she helps him to finish the song, you know, and gives him time to get himself together. And Winter just looks gorgeous. I even like how she has the blue hair. It looks like Winter. So I was like, you know, Joss Stone is doing a phenomenal job in this role. And they're singing the song, and next thing you know, Jamal comes to, and they start singing it, and it becomes a beautiful moment. So pretty much everything is just at a high, a major high. That first performance was everything. And then we see that Hey Beautiful, the blogger, she does her spill on the whole Empire Trust tour, has a totally different outlook, has a totally different approach. She took off her glasses and looked dead into the camera and was like, tonight was everything. This was success. Blake, she starts talking about the performances, and she's like, Tiana, she says like, Jamal, Hey Beautiful's here for you, boo. And I was like, see, that's how you change the game. It goes within the whole thing. Like, all these bad things was happening, but they were flipping them and making them beautiful. And I thought it was great. So then, we see afterwards they're partying backstage. They're happy because, the first performance was a success. Everybody killed it. Everybody brought it. But we definitely see also in this part that Blake not only is having affections for Tiana, but we see that Maya is starting to have a connection to Blake too. So I'm like, cause you know that Maya liked them white boys, honey. So she was kind of feeling herself as well. So then we see that Cookie has a meeting with Damon, and she was like, oh, so so are you having fun with Giselle? And he was like, look, what going on with Giselle is just business, And she was like, you know what? I gotta go deal with my husband. And he was like, I told you before, Cookie, I'm not gonna come to you. You gonna come to me. And I'm like, if that shit wasn't something else, because I'm about to get to it. Then we get a scene with Lucius is on the phone. I think he's talking to, either trying to reach Cookie or whoever. But next thing you know, Treasure comes in, and pretty much, she's pretty much, I thank you. You saw something in me that nobody's seen. And he was like, no, you always had it. I just had to remind you that was in you. And she, next thing you know, she starts straddling on top of Lucius like, I want to thank you because you really see me. You really understand me. And I want to thank you. And I'm like, oh, damn. So you really was on some whole shit. So really, Joe was her pimp and she was hoeing. Because she really pulled a whole stunt like shit. But it goes to show she has low self-esteem. And there's one guy who just pretty much just wanted to let you know how powerful and great you are. You took it as an advance that he was trying to fuck you and he wasn't trying to do it. But she straddles on him, and it happened at the wrong time because Cookie comes in and was like, oh my God, you nasty bitch! And she runs. Lucius tries to go after her. She gets on the elevator and shuts the door. And the next thing you know, we see her in the room with damn Damon Cross. So I'm like, oh shit. It's about to be on and popping now. So then we see Blake, they're at the hotel. It's the same hotel, where we just saw Lucius and Cookie, where Cookie ran away from Lucius. So we see Blake, he got him some brown, ready to turn up. And the person that he wanted to go see was Tiana. So he actually sees that room service just left. But then next thing you know, he sees Carlito is in there with his shirt off with Tiana, and Blake was heated. He was pissed. But I'm thinking like, I understood why Tiana did that, because after a while, because even during the performance when Carlito had his part and she went to go dance on him, you could tell that there was a connection there. She likes that bad boy shit because that's what Hakeem was. But she has a great connection with Blake because Blake is a good guy. But he feels some kind of way because he really has caught feelings for Tiana. But Tiana's not going to act on it because she knows the history between him and Hakeem. And her going for Blake would be bad on both ends. So I get why she went for Carlito. But he was mad as hell. Next thing you know, he walks by, and then we see that Maya comes out of her room, and she's like, well, I was figuring that you and Tiana would be together, but obviously that didn't work out. And he was like, yeah, it is what it is. I'm just out here drinking. And she was like, so you gonna drink alone? And he was like, well, I don't want to. So he ends up going in the room with Maya. And I'm like, Maya, you need to know this, honey. This is direct from me to you. You're sloppy seconds, honey. He wanted Tiana, but he's selling for you because Tiana's in the room with Carlito. And then again, it's still going to probably cause some tension between him and Hakeem because Hakeem likes Maya. And now Maya is going to be linked up with Blake. So it's going to cause some drama between Blake and Hakeem either way. Because Hakeem done staked in both Tiana and damn Maya. So that's going to be some shit. So then we see that Jamal's in his hotel room watching the Five Heartbeats, one of my favorite films, you know, watching Eddie Kane, you know, and he's just in this thing, and then all of a sudden he hears a bang on the door, and he's like, look, I don't need any room service, go away. He's like, I'm not answering the door, and then all of a sudden he heard a big ass bang. He's like, yo, who the hell's banging on my door like this? Then all of a sudden he sees his Kai, and Kai was like, you think I will miss your performance? And he comes back and they immediately start kissing. I was like, So if anything, what Kai finally came back and maybe has come to his senses that, look, you're going to have to accept the Lion family if you want to marry that cub. Because there's a lot of, because he was like saying that you're not like them. I'm like, shit. Have you met Jamal Lyon? Jamal Lyon, who was dangling motherfuckers off of buildings, who was getting in fights, who fucked up one of his last boyfriends when he found out he was lying. Like, Jamal ain't to be fucked with. But I think Kai is coming around, but we're gonna see what's gonna happen with that. But it was cool that Kai came back and Jamal was no longer in that space of grief and sadness. So, and then oh yeah, I talked about that. And then Lucius gets a call from Terry where Terry tells him about Andre's condition. So now he knows about that. Then you had the whole thing between Cookie. Cookie goes to Damon, takes off her coat, and Damon smiles because he's like, I got the queen. But then the ending scene was everything, because we see that damn Joe, Lucius is outside, and you can tell he's kind of wrapping his mind around the fact that his son could possibly die. And that he didn't know that he had cancer. You know, stage 4 lymphoma. Or lymphoma, I'm sorry. So then all of a sudden, you know, Joe, Treasure's old manager, he comes over and starts saying, oh, congratulations, Lucius. Yeah, this was a successful night for you. But your son, Andre, never showed up. I guess he's not the talent in the family. And you're saying this shit after what Lucius found out. And he was saying that, oh yeah, but that $30,000 is changed now to $50,000 a month. And don't worry, I know you're good for it, because I know that Treasure's good enough for it, you know, for both of us. So you can make it happen. And he's like, come on, Lou. Come on, Lucius. And then he puts his hands on Lucius. Lucius flips and beats the living shit out of Joe. Joe, after he was done, was dead as motherfucking roadkill. Just done. I'm like, see, you picked the wrong day to talk your shit, because he really thought he was badass because he went through him the legal way. But you came at a wrong time and you talked shit about Andre after he found out that Andre had stage 4 cancer, and you gonna talk your shit? Wrong place, wrong time. See, when you do fucked up shit, karma can come back on you quicker than you realize. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. This episode was fun. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of Empire. So until next time, everybody, take care.